Mr. Speaker, thanks for the opportunity to make a concluding statement to bring the debate on the 2026 budget statement to a close. Mr. Speaker, 2 weeks ago, acting under the authority of His Excellency the President, I presented the 2026 budget statement and economic policy of government to this House. Since then, Mr. Speaker, honorable members have taken their turns to interrogate its policies and proposals. Many contributions have been constructive. Others, regrettably, were built on deliberate mischiefs, misunderstanding, selective reading of data, or argument that collapse the moment you place them beside the facts. Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records. So in concluding, I'll take my time to correct some misimpressions and some information that has been placed on Hansard. Mr. Speaker, first, let me start with a statement made by Honorable Abena Osei-Asare on industry, growth, and 1D, 1F argument. Mr. Speaker, my colleague, the Honorable Abena Osei-Asare, claimed that industry slowed because of 1D, 1F, and that 1D, 1F has been cancelled, and as a result, the industry growth has slowed. Mr. Speaker, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, the oil and gas subsector contracted by 18.1% in the first quarter of 2025 and 22.5% in the second quarter, averaging about 20.1% in the first half of 2025. That single structural shock pulled overall industry growth down to 3.4% in the first half of 2025. The cause was clear, Mr. Speaker, and this is because of three things. One, corruption in the sector, and two, underinvestment, Mr. Speaker, and most importantly, operational decline in the petroleum volumes, as we have seen. Mr. Speaker, it had nothing to do with the cancellation of 1D, 1F or realignment of 1D, 1F. Even more interestingly, Mr. Speaker, the subsector of which 1D, 1F beneficiaries actually sat grew by 6.3% in the first half of 2025. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised to hear a former Minister of State at Ministry of Finance make argument that is not founded on data. Mr. Speaker, clearly, this has been misinterpreted and the actual details are not coming out. Mr. Speaker, this budget expands, it does not constrain. Mr. Speaker, let me take my time to point to certain key factors, expenditure lines in the budget that will expand industry. We are rolling out 500 million United States dollars oil palm development financing window. Mr. Speaker, we are also acquiring 4,000 agricultural machineries to boost industry. Mr. Speaker, we have created new incentives for textiles, agro-processing, and pharmaceutical industry that are export-oriented. Mr. Speaker, these are all in the budget. Right, Honorable Speaker, in addition, the VAT reforms are designed to foster business expansions and create new jobs opportunities. Mr. Speaker, I heard my good friend and brother, Afenyo Kwamena Market, aka ChannelOne, making a statement that we have rather added small businesses into the VAT net. Mr. Speaker, I've always cautioned him that I know him to be a lawyer, I know him to be a litigant, but I don't know him to be a tax expert. And so when it comes to areas of taxes, he should defer that to me and I'll help him accordingly. Mr. Speaker, rather, what this government has done is that we have exempted businesses turning over up to 750,000 Ghana cedis from the charging and collection of VAT. This is a government that cares. Right, Honorable Speaker. The evidence before us does not support the conclusion that cancelling 1D, 1F has caused the industry sector to rather decline. In fact, it is contrary to the statement that was made by Honorable Abena Osei-Asare. The Speaker, on the fiscal side, the Honorable Gideon Boakun made some statement that, the Speaker, it is worth important that I clarify. The Honorable Gideon Boakun argued that we missed at least 50% of our budget target. It is curious and inaccurate claim, Mr. Speaker, because none of our macro data support these assertions from him. Right, Honorable Speaker? On the contrary, we have met every single macro indicator that we announced in the 2025. Mr. Speaker, in fact, we have overperformed. Mr. Speaker, let me take my turn to take you through it. Right, Honorable Speaker, growth for the first half of the year stood at 6.3%. 6.3%, comfortably above the revised target of 4%. Mr. Speaker, this simply means we actually programmed for 4% and we are doing 6.3%. Mr. Speaker, we have overperformed. Second quarter, Mr. Speaker, inflation fell from 23.8% in 2024 to 8% by October 2025. Mr. Speaker, our target was actually 11%. We have overperformed. We have not missed the target. Mr. Speaker, growth, let me say it again. Mr. Speaker, we programmed to grow by 4%. As at first half of the year, second quarter, we have grown 6.3%. Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to listen to the government statistician when he's speaking. Right, Honorable Speaker, the primary balance swung from a deficit of 3% of GDP in 2024 to a surplus of 1.6%. 1.6% in September 2025. Mr. Speaker, that is not underperformance, it is indeed overperformance. In fact, we programmed to do 1.5% of GDP. We have actually exceeded that. Mr. Speaker, the public debt as at October 2025 decreased from 61.8% of GDP to 45% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, 45% of GDP. Right, Honorable Speaker, gross reserves strengthened from 4 months of import cover to 4.8 months of import cover. Mr. Speaker, every single indicator, we have not only achieved it, but we have actually outperformed the target. These are facts. Mr. Speaker, these are facts. They are recognized by the markets, by the investor community, recognized by rating agencies and international communities, including the IMF and the World Bank. These are facts. Mr. Speaker, this is not a profile of a government that misses target. In fact, this is a profile of a government that is regaining credibility through discipline. And that is the record of President Mohammed's administration. Mr. Speaker, I'll now take you to growth, jobs, and the logic that our colleague from the MPP raised. Mr. Speaker, the opposition or the minority, through again the Honorable Kojo Oponkroma, Honorable Abena Asare, and then Honorable Dr. Amin Adam, says projecting 4.8% growth in 2026 after a strong first half growth in 2025 is illogical. In truth, it is responsible rather. Mr. Speaker, it is not illogical, but rather it shows how a responsible government should act. Mr. Speaker, we prefer realism to wishful forecasting. That is why our growth assumptions are anchored in evidence, not political bravado. Mr. Speaker, this is critical for economic management. And because, Mr. Speaker, they are anchored in evidence, they are also very credible. And we will ensure that our credible projections are achieved by the end of the year. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Amin Adam further cast doubt on inflation outturns and suggested that the 2026 budget is growthless and jobless. This assertion is also far from accurate. Mr. Speaker, indeed, it cannot be the case. Ghana's disinflation is not a coincidence, but as a result of deliberate policy interventions. Mr. Speaker, we did not just achieve the numbers that we are seeing. It is as a result of deliberate policy interventions implemented by the Bahama administration. Data from the Ghana Statistical Service showed that food inflation was the main driver of price volatilities that we see. So we responded with targeted large-scale supply-side actions. Mr. Speaker, we take those data very serious and we respond appropriately. And let me tell you what we did, Mr. Speaker. The Feed Ghana input expansion and vegetable value chain, as you can find in the budget in paragraph 430 to 433, tells you exactly what we have done. Mr. Speaker, irrigation covering more than 10,000 hectares also tells you exactly what we have done. Mr. Speaker, mechanization through the Farmer Service Center will tell you exactly what we are doing to tackle food inflation. Mr. Speaker, no wonder inflation is declining from 23 to 8 and projected to go down more. Mr. Speaker, we are backing this with a construction of 1,000 kilometers of agriculture enclave routes to cut transport costs and ease market access. Right, Honorable Speaker, aside that, we are investing 200 million Ghana cedis through the Ghana Buffer Stock Company to be able to buy excess and glad food in the market. Mr. Speaker, this is what it means for us to use data to shape government policy. Mr. Speaker, I take you now to what we call the credit rating agency and the stability story, as was criticized by the Honorable Tweneboa Kodua Fokuo. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable colleague, the Honorable Tweneboa Kodua Fokuo, have argued that Ghana's credit rating upgrade was as a result of high commodity prices. Mr. Speaker, let me put on record that cocoa and gold prices did not suddenly jump in 2025. They were high in the year 2023 as well. Mr. Speaker, yet in 2023, under the previous administration, the cedi collapsed when commodity prices were high. Mr. Speaker, reserves declined when commodity prices were high.
Honorable Minister,
actually surged.
Honorable Minister, you can pause for now. The Speaker will take the chair. Please, you can continue. Minister, you can continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in 2023, under the previous administration, the cedi collapsed when in fact commodity prices had recorded all-time high. Mr. Speaker, reserves declined when cocoa prices surged and gold prices went up. Debt actually surged. Inflation actually worsened. Mr. Speaker, at that time, Ukraine-Russia war had not intensified, yet your cedi fell. Today, there is Ukraine and there is Russia conflict ongoing. In fact, it has intensified, but yet the currency has stabilized. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the difference is not commodity price. The difference can certainly not be commodity price, but rather competent management and quality management. That is what you see. Right, Honorable Speaker? In the words of Standard & Poor's, and I quote, Standard & Poor's statement credited Ghana's upgrade to improved fiscal discipline, stronger buffers, and credible consolidation path. And that is the words of Standard & Poor's. Mr. Speaker, they did not just attribute it to commodity price. And so the honorable member cannot be right. These are policy outcomes. They are as a result of choices made by His Excellency President Mahama, deliberate choices made by President Mahama. Mr. Speaker, on our fiscal path and homegrown, it's important for me to, Mr. Speaker, make this point. And right, Honorable Speaker, let me be blunt. Stability did not return because of the IMF program alone. As a core member of the opposition claimed, Mr. Speaker, stability returned because this government chose a fundamental different path, an expenditure-led consolidation instead of revenue-led consolidation that protected citizens from further tax fatigue. Mr. Speaker, that is exactly what President Mahama decided to do. We cut waste, we reset expenditure to 2023 levels, we enforced commitment control, we audited arrears, we aligned cash to priorities, we restored discipline across MDAs and coordinated monetary policy with a clear anchor. Mr. Mr. Speaker, we did not leave the central bank alone to anchor the national currency. The Ministry of Finance and the government got involved to anchor the national currency. That is the difference that you see. Mr. Speaker, that is how you restore confidence. That is how you stabilize the currency, and that is how you rebuild credibility across an economy. Mr. Speaker, that is important to know. Right, Honorable Speaker, on the security center, at the security sector, our colleague, the Honorable Intim Fojo, made some wild claims that our security investment amount to luxury spending. Mr. Speaker, this cannot be accurate. There is the need for us to retool the security, and it's important as a country that we have to come together to retool the security. So, Speaker, this administration inherited a security sector that had been starved of modern equipment. We are correcting it. The aircraft referenced in the budget are not luxury aircraft. Mr. Speaker, I want to use this opportunity to assure this House that the aircraft, the helicopters and the aircraft that will be purchased by the Ghana Armed Forces will certainly not have a bathroom. There will be no bathroom in that aircraft. Mr. Speaker, it is not a luxury aircraft that will have a bathroom, and it's important I make that point. They are strategic mobility assets for troop deployment, for emergency response, border security, and peacekeeping. It will certainly not be a luxury aircraft that will have a bathroom. It will be for the use of the Ghana Armed Forces. Mr. Speaker, no serious country leaves its soldiers under-resourced, and no responsible government makes an ad hoc purchase without an integrated capacity plan. Mr. Speaker, our approach is strategic, sequenced, and fiscally responsible. Mr. Speaker, in fact, the 96 million US dollars that has been spent on the National Cathedral, of which we see only a borehole, that amount can actually buy more than the 4 helicopters that we are buying for the Ghana Armed Forces. Mr. Speaker, that amount can be used to buy more than the 4 helicopters for the national for the Ghana Armed Forces. Mr. Speaker, let me put on record that the Ghana Armed Forces are not engaging any middleman. They are working directly, country to country, to acquire this aircraft for the people of Ghana and for the Ghana Armed Forces. So, Speaker, on the issue of the Accra-Kumasi Expressway, let me take my time, Mr. Speaker, to correct some impressions. So, Speaker, the Honorable Asenso Boache suggested that the proposed Accra-Kumasi Expressway is wasteful. And that we in the opposition opposed the dualization. So, Speaker, that cannot be the case. So, Speaker, I was surprised and amazed to see a colleague, member of parliament, particularly an MP from Kumasi, to describe the project as wasteful. Mr. Speaker, an MP of which the road is leading to his constituency will say that the road is wasteful. Mr. Speaker, to the extent that the said MP wrote to the president to say to the president that don't do that project. Mr. Speaker, I am surprised. Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised to hear that. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me say this, that this road from Accra to Kumasi is more than a road. It is opening up a country. So for an MP from that constituency to write and to say that the road is wasteful and we should not do it, and write to the president that the president should not do the project, Mr. Speaker, it's untenable. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Honorable Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I'm grateful for your indulgence. Speaker, when we met at conclave, the prior agreement were that the leaders will conclude. And the minister, our colleague, walked in and then prayed you that you have some 15 minutes. Well, we don't have a problem, and that has been a practice. Finance ministers, when they present budgets, they get the opportunity to give closing remarks. We don't have any problem with that. Speaker, our colleague is speaking to mentioning specific names, and then, would you listen? Speaker, if anybody on the majority side wishes to speak, get up and catch the other speaker. Speaker, it cannot be. The minister, we don't have a problem if he's giving closing remarks. He had begged for 15 minutes. Now he's mentioning specific members and attacking them. Now, Speaker, if it is the case, these colleagues are not in the chamber. And largely, Speaker, I think it's important our colleagues come to terms with the fact that this house is a two-sided house. You have your side, we have our side. Now when I'm speaking, you don't want me, you are interrupting me. Why? Get up and catch the other speaker. You cannot interrupt me. If you want to speak, catch the other speaker. That is how decent discussions are.
Honorable Minority Chief Whip, please. I allowed you because I thought you were going to raise a point of order. So far, you've not done that.
Speaker, with respect. Yes, Speaker, with respect, if I may. Speaker, I didn't want to come under 1, 2, 3.
You may not. You may not. Please,
Speaker,
let the minister conclude. Let the minister conclude. Please, Minister.
You should be concluding. You are attacking us. We won't get the opportunity to rebut.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I began my submission by saying that this is a house of records and that it is important for me to correct some misimpressions created during the debate. Mr. Speaker, during the debate, throughout the debate, I made sure my deputy sat through the debate to listen, together with staff from the Ministry of Finance sitting at the gallery to take notes, so that, Mr. Speaker, I'll be able to respond during the conclusion. Mr. Speaker, what I'm doing here is to correct the misimpressions and to put on record that these data, as being provided by my colleagues opposite, cannot be accurate. Mr. Speaker, on the issue relating to the Accra-Kumasi Expressway, Mr. Speaker, I wish the honorable colleague, a member of parliament who made that statement, is here in this house, so that I can challenge him that if he has not written to the president. Mr. Speaker, I want to put it to him, if I wish he's here, for him to say it, that if he has not written to President John Mahama, saying, Mr. Speaker, I'm not alleging, I want him to prove it. Mr. Speaker, I want him to first deny here so that I can provide you evidence. Mr. Speaker, he did not only stop there. He went on to describe the road leaving Accra to Kumasi, the first expressway of its kind, as wasteful. Mr. Speaker, it can't be wasteful. It cannot be wasteful. It is actually transformational. It is what will open this country up. Mr. Speaker, the Chinese says that if you want to get rich, build roads first. We will get rich and we'll build the roads that will connect this country properly. Right, Honorable Speaker, let me use this opportunity to also correct some misimpressions around the value for money office. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Lawrence Ajinsem misunderstands the purpose of the value for money office, and such, during his presentation, he made certain assertions. Mr. Speaker, he is of the view that PPA can perform that function. But Mr. Speaker, let me take my time to explain what this value for money office seeks to do. The PPA actually ensures compliance with procurement processes. It does not, it was never designed to undertake rigorous technical engineering and financial audits of billions of Ghana cedis of infrastructure projects. That is not the mandate of PPA. Mr. Speaker, Ghana needs both compliance and value for money. That is why the value for money office is not a duplication. It is rather a protection. It is a firewall between taxpayers and inflated contracts. Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to understand that PPA cannot be the same as value for money office. And why Ghana needs a value for money office, Mr. Speaker, I can simplify this in 6 bullet points only. Mr. Speaker, first, procurement compliance is not value for money. The PPA focuses on procurement procedures, not cost efficiency. life cycle costing, technical soundness, or post-contract verification. Mr. Speaker, again, this closes legal and institutional gaps in the PFM Act. Right, Honorable Speaker, the current public financial management regulation requires PFM assessment only for single source procurement. Mr. Speaker, a dedicated VFM office extends this assurance to all public projects, procurement methods, and funding sources, including PPPs, SOEs, IGF projects, and donor-funded projects. Mr. Speaker, this has never been the case under the old architecture, and so it's important for us to correct that. Mr. Speaker, this will also prevent inflated prices and cost overruns. Right, Honorable Speaker, Ghana lacks a central mechanism, particularly to benchmark prices, and it's important for us to create that. Mr. Speaker, again, it provides technical assurance and cross-border technical assurance across the entire project life cycle. Mr. Speaker, that is also very important for us to actually explain. Mr. Speaker, the PPA office will create an independent oversight mechanism. Up to today, that is missing. And it also aligns with Ghana and global best practices. Mr. Speaker, it's important for me to stress that today, as we speak, we have value for money office structure in the United States, in Canada, right, Honorable Speaker, in the UK, again in Singapore. All these countries today have a value for money office different from their procurement architecture. And so, Mr. Speaker, getting PFM architecture that will ensure value for money by creating a value for money office that will be equipped with the right people will be important for our country going forward. Right, Honorable Speaker, the PPA regulates procurement procedures and does not provide project delivery as far as fair pricing is concerned. Its mandate is limited to checking it against certain flaws that we have seen. Mr. Speaker, the VFM office is adding additional layer and to ensure that our contract deserves and gets the needed pricing that we have seen that is missing in this country. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, overpricing has become a big issue in this country. Overpricing of contract has become endemic in our country, and so it's important for us to deal with it. Mr. Speaker, I will end by making this statement. Right, Honorable Speaker, this budget delivers the following for the ordinary Ghanaian. We allocated 1.1 billion Ghana cedis to LEAP to protect the vulnerable. Aside that, we allocated 401 million Ghana cedis for the Women's Development Bank. We allocated 8.9 million Ghana cedis for District Assembly Common Fund, of which 7.2 billion Ghana cedis will go to the assemblies directly. 7.2 billion cedis will go to the assemblies directly. So, Speaker, we also allocated 500 million Ghana cedis to the district housing scheme. 20 million Ghana cedis was allocated to support Kumewood so that we can grow the film industry. Mr. Speaker, 2.3 million Ghana cedis was allocated to the Mahama case. 3 billion was allocated for textbooks, and 30 billion was allocated for the big push. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude by saying this. My colleague, the Honorable Afenyo Makin, made this statement. The Honorable Afenyo Makin made this statement that we should name one single social intervention that we have introduced since we came to office. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether he's heard of the almighty no-fee stress. Mr. Speaker, that is a social intervention policy. Mr. Speaker, if you introduce free SHS and fail to find a sustainable sources of funding to the extent that the policy was collapsing when you were leaving office, and somebody comes in and creates a sustainable source of funding, who should have the credit? Mr. Speaker, President Mahama has created sustainable source of funding for free SHS. Aside, Mr. Speaker, we have created the Mahama Cares, the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. It is a social intervention policy. So, Speaker, that has been created by the NDC administration. Right, Honorable Speaker, let me say this. Ghana is on course. John Mahama is on course. And NDC is doing well and serving the people of Ghana with discipline. Mr. Speaker, we will do just that, and we'll do it for the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I conclude. Right, Honorable Speaker, let me say this. Ghana is on course. John Mahama is on course. And NDC is doing well and serving the people of Ghana with discipline. Mr. Speaker, we will do just that, and we'll do it for the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I conclude.
Honorable Deputy Honorable Deputy Minority Leader, the Minister has concluded.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's just a point of clarification. I heard the Minister for Finance indicating that Honorable Asenso was talking about the abandonment of the project which they proposed. But that is a clear misrepresentation. Who was talking, yes, that is the truth. We were all here, and then we know of the letter. So I think it's mischievous, and we need to have clarity on this issue. We have it on record. We have it on record that he was saying that there's an existing project which is almost completed. So he should complete it. That was the suggestion. So, Mr. Speaker, for point of clarification, I think we should all be fair to each other. And the letter didn't even state that. Thank you very much.
Well, Minister, I wanted to say something. Because you are reopening the debate.
I have the letter.
And I don't want it, but once you said it, the Minister has the right to reply.
Mr. Speaker, I have a copy of the letter with me. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to send the letter to you. But, Mr. Speaker, I can read the details to you. Mr. Speaker, he said, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, first, it is on the letterhead of the Office of the Member of Parliament, Bantama Constituency, dated 4th August 2025. Dated 4th August 2025. He said, Dear Mr. President, appeal for reconsideration of the new Accra-Kumasi Expressway proposal. Mr. Speaker, appeal for reconsideration of the new Accra-Kumasi Expressway proposal. Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to convey my concern on the recent proposal by your administration to construct a completely new 6-lane expressway between Accra and Kumasi. Mr. Speaker, as someone who has served, he said that as someone who has served both as Minister of Roads and Highways and a Member of Parliament representing a constituency directly linked to the Accra-Kumasi corridor, I fully appreciate the strategic importance of this route to our national economy. But it remains the most critical arterial road in this country, Ghana, linking our two largest cities and serving as a vital economic lifeline. But however, Your Excellency, since John Ejekum Kufuor administration, significant progress has been made in dualizing the corridor. Over 100 kilometers of the 240 kilometers stretch has been completed, with an additional 46 kilometers currently under active construction, including strategic bypasses at Enyinem, Osino, Enyinase, and Konongo, as per the country's own records. Mr. Speaker, it went on to say that the fiscal progress on this bypass ranges from 58% to 100%, with only 94 kilometers left to be dualized. The recent announcement to initiate a completely new expressway project, whilst these projects are underway, raises genuine concern, and I am particularly struck by the Road Minister's own admission that the ministry is in the process of hiring a consultant to undertake the feasibility study for the new project. This suggests that there is no final design, no cost estimate, no secured funding for the proposed expressway. Yet, Your Excellency stated publicly that construction will begin next year and be completed before your term ends. A timeline less than 3 years. With my expertise and experience, I can say without any fear of contradiction that this timeline is not feasible. It went on to say the following: With the greatest of respect, Mr. President, such pronouncement made ahead of critical project milestones like feasibility, costing, environmental clearance, and financing risk undermining our credibility in infrastructure facing and infrastructure planning and public investment management. Moreover, Article 35(7) of the 1992 Constitution enjoins government to continue development projects initiated by previous administration in the national interest. It went on saying that abandoning an ongoing project, one that is technically sound, economically justifiable, and already delivering results, contradicts this constitution directive and may set a bad precedent for wasteful governance. So, Speaker, it went on to say that I am aware that the Minister for Roads and Highways has raised concerns about alleged cost overruns arising from project variations, which, while such claims deserve to be thoroughly investigated and, if necessary, addressed through appropriate corrective measures, they should not serve as justification. They should not serve as justification for abandoning the entire project. It went on to say that in the context of Ghana's current fiscal constraint and competing, I will share it. I have not shared anything. It's here. I have it here. I'm reading. He said that, Mr. Speaker, no, let me read it. I'm reading, Mr. Speaker, he's not listening. Listen to me. I have it here. I'm sharing it with you. Mr. Speaker, let me read everything. Mr. Speaker, abandoning the entire project, variations and cost adjustment are common in major infrastructure works and can be managed within existing contractual and legal framework. Discontinuing a critical national project on the basis of unresolved variations not only undermines continuity, but also set a troubling precedent for future infrastructure development. Mr. Speaker, in the context of the Ghana's current fiscal constraint and competing infrastructure needs nationwide, I respectfully submit that it will be far more prudent to complete the existing dualization project than to commence a new, significant, more expensive one. Mr. Speaker, the resources, he went on to say that the resources needed for a fresh expressway could instead be channeled into completing the ongoing Accra-Kumasi dual carriageway and address other critical roads such as the Eastern Corridor, Coastal N1 Corridor, and Kumasi-Tamale Highway. He went on to say that, Your Excellency, my concern is born out of it's not born out of partisanship, but in the interest of continuity, prudence, and national development. I respectfully urge you to review the current course and provide leadership that consolidate, not disrupt, the modest gains we have made as a country. Please accept, Your Excellency, the assurance of my highest consideration. Mr. Speaker, clearly, Mr. Speaker, this is what he said. He said that the project should not be continued. This is what he said. So everybody knows what it is. Mr. Speaker, we all know what he said.
Honorable members. Honorable members.